I'm back. This is Husky Badboo, episode 44. How you guys doing? Hope you're well. Hope you've been taken care of. Hope that was there even a spring break during COVID? I don't know where in your neck of the woods you were, but here in DR, we kind of did have spring break, or as we call it, Holy Week, Semana Santa, because we are on paper Catholics, I guess, and we're generally believers. So we believe in Jesus in the general sense, mostly religious. So that was kind of observed. Not 100% though, not 1000%, but it was kind of observed. For those of you with the benefit of video, yes, I changed the set as it was before. Just changed the angle of the camera going from on the side over here, or again towards the computer, because guess what? I need to look at the computer. I need to look at the computer, and I'm gonna start doing some shit. I'm gonna be adding some shit into this podcast, so just to make it, a little less mundane and just give it a little bit more extra. But not yet, though. Not yet. We did the podcast, the Spanish version. We started it. Let's just say that we started the Spanish version, but it was like a beta episode where I was with zero energy, was totally drained out of my mind and body, and so like I had no ill will to do that, but I did it just so that we can have something to do and have the episode there in the bank, just to have the RSS feed for the Spanish version. So I will eventually record a legit Spanish podcast, but you're gonna have patience with me. I got shit to do. I work. This is not my job. This is my very expensive hobby, to say the least. Uh, so yeah, I will do that because this past week, if in case you didn't check it out, gonna leave the link in the description, I guess, or wherever. The Smart Nerd podcast, where we reviewed or predicted NXT Takeover Stand and Delivered. We missed the matches because by the time we recorded, they kind of did not book certain matches. The same thing is going to happen in Mania this weekend. There were some matches that were just added now because it's all done on the whims of a 70-something-year-old man. So it's a predictions a podcast with Harold that I did for the Smart Nerd podcast, which is my exclusive wrestling podcast, so that I don't have to talk about wrestling in this podcast, not to alienate the 2 or 3 people that listen to this or view this on YouTube. So this is my gift to you. So that, but if you are a wrestling fan, or you are a mark, I would welcome you to listen to that. And since I am with another person, I am more fluid and, and more jokes. Naughtier side of me comes out, but it is what it is. And I hope you enjoy it. There you go. That's my plug for the Smart Nerd podcast, which, by the way, banging on the views. It's right now one of my most viewed videos on YouTube right now as it speaks. So if you want to help on that, please continue to do so. That would be swell. Anyway, let's get into this. Let's get into this podcast. I guess what I'm doing now mostly is just giving you an update on the cat, Lino. And I guess I should just keep on the tradition, that the cat is alive. God helps. God is good, and we are good to that cat. And the cat is alive. The cat is alive and well. He is eating like the animal that he is, and that basically, and sleeps a lot, and that's basically the end of the activities on that cat. sleep, and eat. I'm going to be showing you some pictures here and the benefits of video. Yeah, right there. Some the benefits. Those who have benefit of watching video will see the pictures of the cat just sleeping because that's all he does. As soon as there's sunlight, the little runt is just sleeping. And whatever time he is not sleeping, he is eating. And whatever time he's not eating, he is shitting. And whatever time he is not eating, sleeping, or shitting, he is bugging the fuck out of us. And we're very happy to oblige because, of course, he owns us. It's not the other way around. I have understand that now, that once you own a cat, the word owning a cat should be removed and striked out of the lexicon. It should be the cat owns you. As in, that son of a bitch thinks that you are his property, it owns you, and you are there to do as it pleases. Now, this particular cat that we have, which I love, Lionel, I do love him. I know it sounds like I'm burying him and like I'm just throwing piss and vinegar at the mention of his name, but that is not the case. I do love the cat. Look into my eyes and believe me, I love this cat. Okay, sarcasm aside, I do like the cat. Jokes aside, I do like the cat, but he is kind of a needy little rugged, a needy little cat. I don't get it. I don't get it. Why he's so needy? Like, he's solitary. That's why I kind of like him, because he's kind of like me. I'm a stay away kind of guy. I don't like to socialize. I don't like, big environments of people. And once more than 3 people are in the house, because normally it's just me, my wife, and my daughter in the house or in the apartment. Once you add a 4th person, cat is like, out of here. I'm gone. This is too much for me. This is too much socializing for me. I cannot take this anymore. And I kind of get that because that's exactly who I am. That's exactly what I was when I was a kid. Once people came visiting into my house, I hid under the bed because I was like, fuck this. I can't take this much people around. And back then, there was no benefit of being an introvert, because back when I was a kid, people thought that I was weird. And they're right. I am weird. But there was no such thing as doing an exam, a personality test, and seeing what type of personality you are. And then it turns out I'm an introvert. And it is perfectly fine and normal. It's okay. My type of personality is fine. There's nothing wrong with being that. And it took me, 34 years to figure that one out. Beautiful. Most of my youth was gone already by the time I figured this out. I was like, well, this information could have been useful like when I was 13, 12, back when I was developing. This information could have been helpful, to help me develop into a better human being, but it is what it is. It's done. Well, we're talking about the cat. Okay. Sorry to dive in into my personal shit. Kind of what I do. This is my podcast, by the way. I tend to talk whatever the fuck I want, and this is filler time. And if you don't like it, there. I did a gesture for those of you with audio only. Not a very bad gesture. No, not the finger, although there was a finger involved, but not the finger. Okay. Not the finger. Anyway, so the cat needy. That's what I was talking about. Yes. The cat is needy. And, I'm like, dude, like, for an independent animal, as you claim to be, you're needy as fuck. Like, there's times that he doesn't need us, and he will let you know real quick that he doesn't, but then he starts, like, crying out of the fucking blue. I'm like, motherfucker, the door's open. You can go inside and come in here and sit with me. I'm not locking the door from you. You can come here and chill. I ain't got no problem. My wife is the one that gets pissed every time because he likes to prefer to sit on her side of the bed. I always stay on my side of the bed, and he tends to sit on her side of the bed. Like, he's doing a companionship on me. Like, yeah, dude, it's just 2 dudes here chilling. Like, you want to sleep? Okay, we're going to sleep here for a while. Okay, good. I get it. He's my buddy, my companion. He's my only sausage, the only guy that's carrying other than me. So it kind of levels up the playing field here in a house run by women. So, yeah, Mimi, as we call him. That's his like terms of endearment name, Mimi, but his name is Lionel. It's the sleep and eat motel, basically. This house is for him. So sleep and eat motel for him. This past week was, as I stated, Holy Week in DR, and there was nothing. There's very few things holy about it. First of all, let's talk about the good shit. My dad's birthday was this past week. He turned 66, and we were very happy because we had a couple of years ago we had a scare. We thought that he was gonna go to the other side, but thank the Lord from heaven above that gave him a second chance. It was a miracle. He had kind of a stroke, and he survived well and not with no long-term secondary damages or long-term damages. Just that his memory, short-term memory, not that good, not that bueno. It comes and goes. The short-term memory, his long-term memory is fine. His short-term, like you have to repeat shit to him all the time, but other than that, he's fine. And I'm thankful that he got to live another day, another birthday, and happy birthday, Dad. That was a good stuff of the week. Then the rest of it was, well, uh, I'm gonna avoid talking about the shit that happened, like the horrible shit. There was something horrible that happened this week in DR as a general news. I'm not gonna talk about that shit because that this is not the type of podcast. But that I don't know if you're aware that we're kind of in a time of Corona. That shit. Whether you believe conspiracy theories and all that shit, I respect your beliefs. I respect your ideas. I respect whatever the heck you want to swallow as fact. But the real fact is that there is a virus. Wherever, however it came to be, it came to be. I don't know. Don't ask me. I know as much as anybody else, which is nothing. So I don't know. I don't know how the hell that happened. I don't know how it happened, but it happened and it's all over the world. Deal with it. So this island has corona as the rest of the world, and we're in the middle of an emergency state in DR. We've been so for over a year now, and they just keep extending 45 days, additional 30 days, additional 25 days, and whatnot and whatnot and whatnot. So the last 45 days were about to end, but this week the president of the Dominican Republic ordered another extension for another additional 45 days of an emergency state due to the coronavirus because people are stupid. And the reason I say people are stupid because this being Holy Week, we get a long ass weekend. Like most people even get off on Thursday, on Holy Thursday in the afternoon. Others get off on Friday. But the thing is that, you have a long ass weekend, and guess what motherfuckers did? They went to the motherfucking beach and they flooded the fucking beach. And guess what? Corona spiked. Who would have thought? Who would have imagined? I mean, how could I have imagined that when people going to the beach where there's sunlight, unprotected with no mask, just smashing on top of each other, not little smashing, not the dirty meaning of the word smash, you know what I mean, the other word. Just smashing, physical contact with each other. Who would have thought that would have caused a big ass problem in terms of escalating an already big ass disease into the island? Nobody, right? I mean, that could never happen. It did. So we're fucking 45 extra days. Thank you, idiots. Thank you, fucking idiots, for fucking the rest of us over for that. Also, some rain was on the week as well, and shit happened. Houses fell off cliffs. Good shit, good shit. And I'm not even talking about the bad shit that happened on the weekend, but yeah. So, additional 45 days of emergency state with curfews. and whatnot. So that means we get to stay locked at home. I mean, it don't bother me none because I'm an introvert. I don't like to go out because it is my general thinking that although there are good people in this island, there are decent people, even educated people in this island. It has been though my experience that I mostly have to deal with the assholes and the uneducated, the troglodytes, if you will. So, the less I have to deal with that shit, the better. And I rather stay at home where I don't have to deal with that kind of shit. But that's just me. That's just me. I mean, if you are the type that likes to socialize and this sucks for you, and my condolences, and you have my sympathies. What can I say? I can't say anymore. Uh, yeah. If we're gonna talk about geek shit, we can talk about geek shit because ta-da! I'm showing on the video Funko collection, comic book collection right there in the back, and Star Wars shit. So yeah, that's kind of my little itty bitty dick, geek dick showing off a little bit there. It's just a tip, just a tip. So so yeah, kind of a geek. So I'll talk about some geeky shit. Some of the geeky shit that we can talk about is that this past week, a few movies or a TV series started filming, which is the Powerpuff live action TV series, Powerpuff Girls. Now, in terms, if you were wondering, like, oh, the Powerpuff Girls, like the little kids, no, they're adults now. And, they've changed the ethnicity, if you will, of a couple of characters. The professor is now not a light-skinned person. Let's just say that. Some people are pissed about that. Look, I don't give a shit the skin color. As long as the actor is good, I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck about that. But if you're gonna do it just for wokeness sake, just stop it. Just stop it. Now, if you're gonna do it because is there a purpose on this? Like, people got pissed off, like, oh, Black Superman. Well, there is a in the DC multiverse, there are a couple of Black Supermans in the DC multiverse. They're not the original Clark Kent. They're not the original Kal-El. They're different versions that in those worlds, in that specific universe, there is a Black Superman, not because that is Kal-El, but because that is the last surviving son of Krypton in that universe. Specifically, that's just me. So, in that sense, I have no problem because that is canon. That is the original intent of the comic. And I have no problem with that. Now, when you're trying to make that Superman the main Superman, where in the DC Comics, the main Superman is, as you know, white as fuck, and his name is Kal-El, and he goes by Clark Kent, married to Lois Lane, has a kid called Jonathan Kent, the whole 9 yards. When you have all that, you're like, okay, so why? So, it's just, DC, not DC, just comic book fans in general are very, how do I say, anal about their properties. They're like, no, don't change this. Hence why, the Zack Snyder verse, the DC universe that he tried to start, that's why I got a little flack. That and other than the story sometimes didn't make any sense. It's just that, he was aiming to a very dark direction in terms of how normally these characters are perceived. Because in the minds of most, some people still think of Batman with like a very, I don't know, type of Batman they see. I don't know if they still have Adam West in their minds, or they have Michael Keaton in their minds, or they have Christian Bale Batman. I don't know which Batman they have. But generally speaking, when they think of Superman, they think about, well, Mr. Goody Two Shoes, Christopher Reeve Superman. And yes, that Superman kind of still exists in the comic books, but Superman is a tiny bit more complicated than that. And I'm not trying to defend the Snyderverse. I mean, I'm glad that Zack Snyder. I already did my Zack Snyder Justice League review, although non-spoiler, because that movie's long as fuck. But you know, Zack did his thing. God bless him, and now the fans want to restore the Snyderverse. I'm neither here or there about that because you know fans are gonna ask what they want, and if the studio wants to please them, they'll do it. I guess in the HBO Max versions of it. I don't think they'll go back to doing full fledged in movie theater continuations of that universe. Just that you know, in my particular case, in terms of the Superman shit, and we'll go back to the Powerpuff Girls. I know this all started from there, but see how my brain works. Uh, but in terms of Superman, like Henry Cavill for me did a great job as Superman. It's just that the material that he was given, you know, like I said, you know, I liked just the Zack Snyder Justice. It beat the living shit out of the Josh Whedon version, but then again, that was already, you know, low hanging fruit as it was. So you could have done something in cardboard and you would have beaten. I think I already did that point in the other podcast. But anyway, I'm just trying to repeat myself. So I don't think that removing Henry Cavill from the Superman thing would be beneficial. In terms of this, with the Powerpuff Girls, with you know having dark skinned people doing traditionally, it's a cartoon. I really doesn't get my panties in a bunch. I'm not that anal about that. Again, if that's what the creative team felt to do, hopefully it's good. I just don't want it to be woke for wokeness sake. Like for example, a very clear example of that is Batwoman. I have never seen an episode of that, and I care not to because I just know the fan reaction has been appalling, and that tells you everything you need to know about it. I mean, if the fans they don't mean to shit on it just to for shitting's sake, but rather than because it just sucks. It just sucks, and if something sucks, it sucks. You can't. There's no two ways about it. If something sucks, it's not because you can't take about being woke. It's not that. It's if the material sucks, it sucks. It doesn't matter what the material is about. Like I don't give a shit if a superhero is lesbian, gay, whatever. I don't give a shit about that. Just write a good story. That's all I want to care about. And so, in terms of these people that are working on the Powerpuff Girls, I just wish it's a good thing, a good material, and I wish them the best. I haven't seen anything, so I can't shit on it, and I won't shit on it until I see it. There, there's a very balanced view of things. Can we get to being balanced? So, okay, oh, they changed the professor's ethnicity. Okay, they changed one of the Powerpuff Girls' ethnicity. Fine. Okay. Whatever. Fine. Okay. That's it. What you gonna do? I don't own it. You own it? You own the Powerpuff Girls? You own the Powerpuff Girls? Do I own them? No. So it's not my will be done. It's what WB or in this case AT&T's will be done because they own this motherfucker. So they get to decide what the hell they want. I think I had this conversation before on another podcast regarding the Disney shit with how they deal with Star Wars. You don't have to like it. You don't have to love it. But guess what? Disney owns Star Wars, so they do with it as they please. And you just have to take it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. If you like it, you like it. That's it. You don't have to start wars online, and we'll talk about that kind of shit later. I got up to date with Falcon and Winter Soldier, at least the second and third episode. I don't think I'm going to do a full review of that because, we're already on the fourth, and I kind of know already what happens on the fourth because I read spoilers. I read spoilers. Yes, I do. And I don't give a fuck. I'm one of those fucking crazy ass people. And if you don't like it, kiss my white, freckled, hairy ass or lack thereof. And I look at the screen while saying that, just to make you look and understand that I'm that kind of son of a bitch. Okay? Good. Let's move on. I wonder if people actually believe I'm this crazy. I know that some do, but I don't give a fuck. Anyway. A little somber news, this was a hard week for us Dominicans. We lost practically our superhero. Let's just say it, we lost Jack Veneno. Jack Veneno, for those of you not aware of who Jack Veneno was for Dominicans, there's the only people that can understand what he was for us are Puerto Ricans and Mexicans. Puerto Ricans have Carlos Colon. That is your wrestling god right there for Puerto Ricans. That's you cannot go higher than Carlos Colon for Puerto Ricans. And for Mexicans, you cannot go any higher than El Santo. And Jack Veneno was our version of El Santo. He was the greatest Dominican wrestler who ever lived. No one went higher. No one was even in his level in popularity. And I mean, the dude has a fucking statue made in the place where he did his wrestling shows in the capital. That's how fucking important the dude was here. And they didn't do that statue when he died. No, they did it while he was alive. That's how important this man was for us. I mean, and for those of you who benefit the video, you'll be seeing here on where I'm pointing right now, those of you watching, you'll be seeing clips a little bit about a match between Jack Veneno and Ric motherfucking Flair. Woo! Yes, that same Ric Flair. Which he beat for the NWA World Title. Now, NWA doesn't recognize that win as legal because Jack decided not to go and defend the belt. So he forfeited the title afterwards, but he won the belt in front of that multitude that you saw in the video right there, which was a packed house in El Palacio de los Deportes in Santo Domingo, the capital. And that's just one of the many things. And I appreciate the people in the wrestling world that gave Jack Veneno his love. No Ric Flair mention. Ric Flair did not mention Jack Veneno at all. He, to this moment, as of me recording right now, Ric Flair hasn't said dick. Now, I understand Jack Veneno was a blip in time. It was back in 82. So it's been a while. It has been almost 40 years since those two had their match. So, it's a blip in time for him. And plus, Ric Flair has faced literally everyone in the wrestling business. Literally everyone that's a name has been in the ring with Ric Flair. Anyway, but be that as it may, I'd like to thank, because Ariel has to thank. So that means that this is very important now. As a fan, I thank all the people that have given his recognition. Like NWA gave Jack Veneno a nice tribute on Instagram. AEW Dynamite in their show acknowledged Jack Veneno's passing. That was a nice touch. Thank you, Excalibur, for doing that. And a lot of wrestlers have as well expressed their condolences. To say that Jack Veneno was big is an understatement. As a kid, I posted that on my Instagram post. As a kid, I used to go. My only wrestling live event experience, I've never been to a WWE live event. Never. Ever. In my whole life. I've never been to a WWE live event. Never been to any. The only close thing to a live event that I've ever been is when WWE had, their store, the WWE New York, which was in Times Square. I went there a couple of times. We actually got to talk at that time with Hardcore Holly. Got a signature and everything. I've lost it because it's been a while. It's been over 20 years almost. And we got to see China. Apparently, she was negotiating a contract, and she did it there in front of everybody. But they didn't let us, mingle with her because she was there for business, not for entertaining. And we tried to, but the security guards didn't let us. Me and my brother tried to. So that was that's been my only WWE live experience. Not even in a wrestling venue, just and whatever the hell they had back then. So my only wrestling actual live event experience was going to Dominican live events and watching Jack Veneno do his thing live. And me and my brother used to make our dad go and take us to the former Palacio de Deportes, now it's called La Gran Arena del Cibao, or to El Estadio Cibao where the Las Águilas Cibaeñas play. And we used to go there almost every Saturday religiously. And we begged our dad to take us. We begged him, and he had to because he had two kids that were just like on his ass, and wouldn't let him, wouldn't relent. And he took us to see Jack Veneno, and we had fun, and it was some great memories. And I get to say that I was one of the few that got to see the dude perform his craft live. And Jack Veneno, you are missed, and thank you for everything you did in terms of entertaining the youth. What did piss me off a little bit, this is a little caveat on my side, is that on the funeral, like former colleagues, heels and babyface, these are wrestling terms for those of you who don't know, and I won't waste time educating or telling you what the hell that means. But, let's say antagonist of his back in the day, we're still kind of keeping the facade like, oh, well, we didn't know each other because we weren't friends, but that didn't mean I didn't respect him. Like, haven't you gotten the memo that wrestling has been exposed as being not legit sport? Like, the outcome is known in advance. It was choreographed and planned, but hey, they want to keep kayfabe alive. That's all you, man. Okay, whatever. The one that recently happened as of right now in recording time, today, unfortunately, DMX passed away. Now, I'm not big in the rap game. I'm mostly rock, metal, stuff like that, but that doesn't mean I don't give respect to a guy that, excelled in his craft, and for that I give him respect. But I also have a shared something similar or similarity with the now deceased DMX. And I'm sorry to make this about me. It's not trying to make this about me. I'm sad that the dude passed away, but this needs to be said because it kind of goes with what I'm going to talk about in the end, because we're going to be closing. That he struggled because he was a man that believed in God. Now, with a bunch of flaws. Now, this is not something necessarily new. You got let's say Johnny Cash, who also was a man of faith, but had his demons. Like to drink, like to get, like to booze, like to fuck, like to get high and shit, and so on and so forth. And it's just that, it's the nature of men or humans dealing with their faith, but at the same time dealing with the weakness of their souls, that they want to please and want to do what they perceive as right, but at the end, their demons, the hounds from hell, they keep chasing you and dragging you to the mud. And it's not easy, man. It's not everybody's cup of tea. So my condolences to his fans and family for his passing. I've been listening to some DMX today. Hey, so yeah, and also, I mean, not a person, but still worth noting. Rest in peace, LG Mobile Division. LG announced this week that they will no longer be making phones. And yeah, I mean, the cell phone game is tough, and this is not a tech review. I'm not a techie. I mean, I do carry a phone, but mine is a Xiaomi. There you go. There you go. There you go. A Xiaomi. A Xiaomi phone with with Nova Launcher. Shout out to Nova Launcher. Promo code. There is none, but I wish there was. Anyway, so yeah. Yeah, that was a sad part. So, what I would like to talk about, just as my closing statement, just to wrap up this podcast, is that, concern that, well, not a concern, but it's just the way of life really right now, as is social media. It is something that all of us, including this fat fuck that is talking to you, are addicted to, and I catch myself looking and scrolling through Facebook and Instagram on the daily basis, and I waste so much time looking for shit. I'm not even posting that much. I mean, I barely make any posts. I like post like three or four things a week, maybe at most. 3 or 4 times a week, I post stuff. But then everything is just scrolling. I mean, I basically, like most of us, we get our news now on social media. And it's a great tool. Don't get me wrong. I do enjoy that. Like, for example, some family members that due to distance, me being DR, most of them living in the States. Due to distance, you can find out what life has been treating them like, in some acquaintances and friends as well. And that's cool. That's nice that you can find out that, well, hey, look, they're alive. Still breathing, still within the land of the living. They're not 6 feet under. That is cool. They have reproduced. They have multiplied. They have income, apparently, unless they have a meth lab somewhere installed, all of Walter White. But let's just keep it PG and think that they are doing great. Let's just think about that and be positive that they're doing everything legally within the margins of legality and with no disposition to get in any trouble with the law. So let's just say that. And you see all that and you're like, great, awesome. That is awesome. That is great. And those are the positive things of having social media. Then you flip the coin. And then, like, for example, what happened to me some time ago on a social media, which I happened to quit, which was Tumblr. No promotion to you. Tumblr can eat my scrotum. While it is ejecting a large pile of shit. They can eat my scrotum while I'm shitting, basically, is what I'm saying. Sorry for that visual. I apologize. Anyway, the reason. Oh, yeah. I made a meme and I posted it on Tumblr. Mind you, I posted this meme on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, and on Tumblr. Like what you can do when you post something on Instagram that you can. Instagram gives you this option. I'm not sure if you are aware that Instagram allows you to lock in accounts, add in accounts from other social media, where you can simultaneously post the thing that you posted on other social medias, and that way you don't have to repeat the same thing on each and every one social media that you own or you possess. So I posted this meme, and it just elevated the anger of a certain group. And I'm not going to say what the meme was because it's gone. It's gone. And the vitriol that I got, the hatred that I got. And I tried to explain and this is one fucking mistake that I've learned not to make again. I tried to explain the meaning of the meme, which believe you me, I had no ill intention or a hatred in making this meme, but still it was interpreted as so, and they just went after me like a motherfucker. It was like, and every time I tried to explain myself, it was like worse and worse and worse. And I was like, okay, I'm not here to explain my actions to a group of people I don't even know. And I have no idea why the fuck are these people even angry at me for something that was just meant to be a joke. A fucking joke. So I deleted that Tumblr and have never looked back. Now, I don't post controversial shit on my stuff. I tend to keep my opinions, like my deep, dark thoughts, other than the podcast. I tend to keep them to myself because I've learned the game. Like, I learned the game to not let on too much out of my life. Like, I show enough, but not show everything. And I also try not to engage people in terms of me saying my opinions about a post that I see that I happen to not agree on. You know what I do when I see something that I don't agree on? I just keep scrolling. Like, I read it. I see what the person is trying to say. I try to understand what the person is trying to say. Then I come to my conclusions, and I don't have to reply to that person because guess what? That person is entitled to his opinion, and I'm entitled to mine. He can live in peace with his opinion. He did never in the post did I see that he asked, can somebody correct me if I'm wrong? No, nobody sent him that, so that's not my job. My job is to live my life and let the other guy find his way. So what did I do? I just kept on scrolling. And that's a problem that most people seem not to understand. That, like, if you don't agree with a person, first of all, if a person keeps posting shit that you don't agree with, why the fuck are you following that person? Why the fuck are you shadowing this person? Why are you taunting this person? Why the hell do you keep this shit on following this person when they're obviously not into that kind of shit? Leave that fucker alone. Leave that person alone. If they don't want to be, like, if you don't want to be scolded, like, why the fuck you have people, like, just feel the need to answer? Like, I did an opinion on, shit, I'll even shout it out on Lucha Libre Online, their Instagram account. I have to say, some of these cunts, some now, not all of them, some of these cunts that are following that account, and this is not something that account does because they kind of correct those people once they get out of line and they even block them. But some of the people that go, they're like really fucking cunts. They're real fucking assholes. Like, I just made a comment like, Raw is, like, I'm sorry I mentioned wrestling shit again, but I made a comment like saying, Raw sucks. And they're like, well, why you watching, you fucking pussy? Then don't watch. Like, I made a comment because that was the critique that was being given on the post. The post was talking about critiquing a certain storyline that was going on Raw. And I just saying, Raw sucks. That's why I'm not watching it. And then they have to ask, then why are you posting it? Because that's what they're talking about, you dumbass. You fucking dumbass. Because that's what they're talking about. And you're shitting on me for responding for the post that we were talking about exactly that issue? Go fuck yourself. Do yourself a favor. If you can't find fucking, if you can't fuck because a woman does not or a dude does not find you attractive, then use your hand in Manuela. I don't know what the fuck you want me to do. I'm not gonna stroke it for you. Stroke it yourself. Okay? Go fuck yourself. I ain't got nothing else to say. Go fuck yourself. Like, I don't know what is this need to be assholes online. I don't know what the fuck this need is that, like, This is unwritten rule that you have to be an asshole to every single human being just because they express an opinion. How about shut the fuck up and let people say what the fuck they say? If they're right or wrong, let time decide that. Let time decide whether they're right or wrong. And guess what? That is their opinion on that particular moment. Guess what happens to human beings? We change. We evolve. We change our opinions about shit constantly. There were people that were in New York that said, I'm never leaving New York. There were people in California saying, I'll never leave California. California's great. California's wonderful. Guess what the fuck happened? They left California. They left New York. They left all these goddamn places. Why? Because shit got hard. So what? We're going to call them fucking hypocrites because they used to say that we love New York, we love LA, we love all these places, but now shit got real and they decided to lickety split. Dude, shit changes, and if you don't change with the times, you're going to get left high and dry. So if you have an opinion, express yourself, but don't be a fucking asshole about it. Like, let people fuck up. There's like we're all perfect? Are we all perfect? Are we all like, oh, you don't preach what you say, or you don't say what you preach, or you don't live what you preach? Motherfucker, none of us live what we preach. If you start examining, you put the little telescope on every single human being on this earth, guess what? We're all pieces of shit. We're all pieces of shit. We're all fucking assholes. We're all fucking idiots. We're all fucking pieces of shit. So spare me that bullshit of like, oh, let's cancel this and cancel that. We should cancel the whole fucking world because we're all assholes. We all have a fucking past. We all have done shit that we're ashamed of. And this fucking thing, like calling people out on fucking social media, like unless they're real grade A assholes, like an Epstein level shit, fuck you. Fuck you, you fucking no life, no nothing assholes that have nothing fucking to do other than shit on people just because they have a fucking opinion that is against theirs. Live and let live, you piece of fucking shit. You're a fucking piece of shit. But that doesn't mean you have to stay one. That doesn't mean that you are one for life. You have the option to recognize the error of your ways and change. You have that option. All of us do. I'm an asshole. Everyone is an asshole. Everyone on this fucking planet is an asshole in one way or another. How do you know that? Piss someone off. You're going to find out real quick. Whether someone they take it, well, some way, someday, somebody might snap. And they might show you that they're more than an asshole. They might be a killer. Try it out. Try it out. See what happens. Get fucking. Try it. Try it. Make somebody snap. Just to make sure that how beautiful an experience that's going to be, making a motherfucker snap. So, at the end of the day, I mean, there's certain, like, for me, the main social media I stay away the most of, and I still have it just because news travels faster there. So, every once in a while, I'll glance in there. But I don't make any tweets whatsoever. I just repost or resend whatever the hell I did on Instagram. Instagram pretty much just gives them a link, and that's pretty much it. But I try the best I can not to write anything on Twitter because Twitter is a fucking cesspool. After that, it's Facebook, in my opinion, in my personal experience, and then it's Instagram. But social media is shit. It's shit. In some ways. In other ways, it's great. It's wonderful. I enjoy it. But fuck. So, if I'm gonna leave a word of advice, just don't be a dick. Let people fuck up. Accept people as they are. Don't be a fucking asshole. And that applies not just on social media. That fucking applies in life in general. Like, give some people some sense of grace, give people grace. Give people the opportunity to find themselves. I mean, we're all of us are struggling with our own fucking self, with our own fucking self-loathing. I mean, there's some assholes that have this holier-than-thou attitude. Fuck those people, by the way. Fuck them. If you think that you're all that and you're all well and you're the finished product of all finished products, fuck you so hard. Fuck you so hard. You are biggest asshole of them all. Because you have lied to yourself to the degree that you think you're perfect. None of us are. None of us are. None of us are. No, I don't give a shit. Atheist, believer, gay, straight, I don't give a fuck. Conservative, liberal, I don't give a fuck. All of us are fucking assholes. All of us are fuck ups. It don't matter your ideology. It don't matter your religion. It don't matter what the fuck you are. Fat, skinny, gay, straight. It don't fucking matter. We're all assholes. And you know what? That's part of the game because we're learning to de-asshole ourselves. Learning to be tolerant to ourselves. That is the real name of the game. Tolerance. Love. Acceptance for one another. Not being such fucking dicks. This has been the Husky Podcast. Message. Anyway, this has been, another episode. Again, if you haven't heard the news, we have a website, HuskyBambooPod.com. All podcast details, not just from this one, but other podcasts as well. The Smart Nerd Podcast, Husky Bamboo Podcast en Español. My art shit, the web store where you can find the t-shirts. By the way, Jack Veneno t-shirt, unfortunately selling like gangbusters due to the dude dying. Can you say you're reaping off the dead? Not that much, really, actually. No. You can't even call that right, living off the dead. But it helps off paying the monthly bill for the website. It doesn't. Anyway. Go to our website, HuskyRedWooPod.com. And for any information regarding the website, I try to keep that shit up to date, updated as much as possible. Check us out there. All the social media is there as well. We're everywhere. You should be seeing down here in the video version. Let's see. There. Okay. Yeah, you should be seeing down there. All the social media links. Even, I don't know, do you want to follow us on Telegram, on WhatsApp? All that shit is there. I mean, hit us up. We're there. Just be respectful. Don't be a dick. Don't be an asshole. Be respectful about it. And this has been it. We'll let you know on social media when the podcast, the Spanish version, will be up. And this is it. Again, this is Husky Bamboo, number 44. Bye.